I want to talk a little bit about getting started building a PocketQube satellite. I know there are a lot of people here who have already constructed them. There are some who are in the middle of constructing their PocketQube, but there are a lot of people who are watching who have never built one of these before, and I just want to give like a primer on how to get started and be successful. Okay, so why should you listen to me? All right, I started working on this in 2013, playing around with some prototypes, developing an additive manufacturing process, and just working things out. Was going to move to aluminum for my framework, and then through Alba, I found out about CRP and decided to change things to WinForm. That plus the NanoPi, which became an off-the-shelf part. Suddenly, I'm like, all right, I can actually build my PocketQube, and it's going to be cheap and it's going to be great. We have a flexible design. The architecture that we've worked on is going to be perfect for Earth observation, for Internet of Things communication. We've got this. So we started working on it. And as you all know, when I presented last year, we were all set to launch. And it was an epic fail because I missed a few steps in the work that I was doing. So I want to cover some of those steps. We're going to do like a 10-step program for how to get started in building your own PocketQube. Okay. All right. First, after that failure, I had two options. I could fold everything up or I could continue on. And I decided to continue on. So we created Minikubes 2.0. We put more of our effort in getting our paperwork and all of our details together. And we are happy to announce that we have paying clients. It's working. So this is a good model. All right. So here we go. We're going to get started on how we make this all work. Step one, be patient. It is not easy to do this. It will take more time to do this than you think it's going to take. All right. So just be patient with everything. All right. The rewards at the end are worth the effort. You're going to be having blood, sweat, and tears over these PocketQubes. I guarantee it. But the reward is there. Okay. And don't ever give up. That's the important part. If you give up, if you have to give up, I understand that, but try and push through. It really is worth it. All right. Step two, double everything. And when I say double, I mean everything. The amount of time it's going to take you, you're going to have an estimate. As soon as you have that estimate, you double that time. Same thing with the finances. Okay. This will catch you. It's going to take you easily twice as much as what you predict. Things are going to go wrong. You need to build that in. All right. And it's way more difficult than it looks. It just PocketQubes are amazing for their small size, but the difficulty in making a satellite this tiny is inversely proportional to the size of the satellite. The smaller you go, the more difficult it's going to be. All right. And the heartache. You're going to be having a wonderful day and everything's going to be working. You've got a prototype. It's actually fired up. You're talking to it, and then it's going to collapse. This happens. Be ready for it and plan accordingly. Step three, use metric. Skip this step if you are not in the United States. Step four, get a lab. Whether you build it yourself or whether you're working through a university, get yourself a lab to work with. Okay. Building these satellites takes a lot of space, and there are a lot of customized pieces of hardware you're going to need in order to build them. How much you need depends on how many resources you have access to. So if you have a university with a shaker table, you don't need it. If they have a vacuum chamber, you don't need it. If those aren't available to you, you either have to buy them or you have to build them. It also helps with your organization. If you are not organized, this becomes more difficult. Okay, so a lab lets you keep all of your parts organized and arranged in the way you need them. Okay, you will never know what you will build. Halfway through, we were working on our first PocketQube, and we realized we really don't know if this is going to fit the deployer. So we actually ended up building our own deployer to spec to make certain that it matched what Alba was creating at that time so that it would actually work. That's important. We weren't planning on building an entire deployer ourselves, but that's what we did. Okay. This is a picture of my current lab. It's not very big. In American standard, it is 12 feet by 14 feet, and it has a class 10,000 clean room. We now have a vacuum chamber. We have all of our rapid prototyping. We have all of our electronics all stuffed in there. It's kind of like the TARDIS from Doctor Who. It's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. Okay. Step 5, paperwork, paperwork, paperwork. You have to have your paperwork in order. This was the Achilles heel for Minikubes 1.0. We thought we were doing everything right, and it turns out we missed a step. Okay. Start your license process early. As soon as you have your design worked out, start your licensing. Okay. You can always change your licensing as you're going through the process, but if you wait until you have it perfect, you're not going to make it, or you're going to end up delayed on the ground. Okay. Document everything. They're going to ask questions you weren't expecting, and so you need to have that documented and be ready to go. Okay. Step 6, don't forget the business side. Even if you're running this as a hobby project, consider running it as if you were doing this as a business. This is going to save you a lot of hassle in the long run. Okay. You've got to keep good records. Consider having an accountant or a friend who has accounting skills work with you. Watch the money. Again, you're going to spend more than you think. And I will dare to bet there isn't a PocketQube builder here who would not agree with that wholeheartedly, because it is expensive. Okay. Use open source software if possible. That's the beauty of the community. If you use it, try and give back to it, and we can build this up a little better. Okay. But don't be afraid to pay for software. I know a lot of people are using Fusion 360 as their modeling program. It's good. Go ahead and pay for it. The free version is nice, but if you pay AutoCAD, they're going to help you along the way by developing the stuff that you need later. Same thing with any piece of software. Don't be afraid to pay for it. I know it hurts the wallet. Okay. Step 7, get help. You got to build a team. Doing this solo is hard. Julian, I believe, can attest to that from FOSA. It's hard doing this on your own. Build yourself a team. Okay. Have trusted advisors, people who know business, people who know science, people who know engineering that you're working on. When you have a crew that you can work with, it just makes the process easier. I mean, you might think you have it right. If you have another engineer look it over and say, explain that a little better, it's really good. They're good quality control. And don't forget to reach out to the PocketQube community. It's grown considerably over the last couple of years. It's absolutely amazing to see all the presentations here at the workshop, how many people have come up with great ideas and things that we can add to the PocketQube form factor. This community is vibrant. They know their stuff. Listen to them. Okay. This is currently my team. I tried to do this myself. I gave up. So I brought on Nathaniel, who is an excellent engineer, and I brought on Tracy, who is an accountant. We've just added 2 more people. We have 2 interns, Adam and Danya, starting with us tomorrow. Okay. Step 8, the details matter. It's the little things that count. Every bit of the design of your PocketQube is using space, and you need to conserve that. So it's those little things like getting the right part count, getting all of your pieces in play. It really is difficult to work through. Again, as I said earlier, the smaller the satellite, the harder it's going to be. Those little things that tend to break everything else. I just had a problem where I was working with my release mechanism. I have a nice little cutter for the wire, and everything was perfect until I assembled everything and found out that I was 0.5 millimeter off in my measurements, and it didn't fit. So back to the design board. Okay. This is a game of millimeters. You've got to use every bit of space. Be careful with it. Step 9, Keep going. All right. This is hard. If it were easy, everybody would be doing it. The fact that you are here working on PocketQubes or considering working on PocketQubes means that you are in a very, very small group of dedicated people who are working to change the paradigm for what a satellite is. It's exciting, but it is difficult work. Okay. You're going to have setbacks. Expect that to happen. No matter what you do, there will be problems with your design. There will be problems with the engineering. You will get your boards back from the factory and they will be wrong. Just be ready for it. Okay? And don't give up. No matter what, keep going. That's the important step in this. If you continue to work with the process, you will eventually get a PocketQube that works. You will fly in space. Okay? And step 10, have fun. If you're not having fun, why are you doing this? You really have to ask yourself that question before you get going. The journey is the best part of this whole process. I can say now, in the last 2 years, I have learned more, I have met more people than I have ever done before. It's been an excellent journey, and even if they said, yep, you got to fold up today, I'm proud of what I've done to this point, and the people that I've met are just amazing. Okay. Enjoy what you're doing. Okay. Tom from Alba, you know this. I seem to see you online all the time. Whether I'm getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning here or going to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, I always see Tom online. He is enjoying what he is doing. So be the same. You'll be absolutely amazing at what you do. All right. Questions?